I am struggling to understand the difference between the observer and the thinker. Could you explain this to me? The observer is the past. The observer is the entity that has accumulated experience, knowledge, and memory, and from this background he looks. So the observer is always separate from the thing he observes. When the observer looks at a tree, for example, he is not actually seeing the tree as it is, but through the screen of his memories of trees, his knowledge of trees, he is conditioned by his past. But isn't the thinker also this entity constantly reflecting and analyzing things based on memory? You must understand the thinker is the same as the observer. The thinker is not separate from thought. Thought is the response of memory, experience, and knowledge accumulated in the past. Then how can the thinker or observer perceive something new without the interference of the past experiences? The moment you recognize that the observer is the observed, that the thinker is the thought, the duality disappears. There is no separation, no division between the two. This realization is crucial. The mind is no longer caught in the conflict because it's no longer trying to divide or escape from what it sees. So, if there is no separation between the observer and the observed, how does one observe purely without interference? To observe without the observer is to be in the state of choiceless awareness. In this state, you see without judgment, without the filters of the past. This is a new way of perception, free from the division that the observer creates. How does this apply in daily life? For example, if I feel anger, how can I see this without the observer interfering? When the anger rises, instead of saying I am angry, recognize that the observer is anger. There is no difference between the observer and the anger. By seeing this, the duality ends and the conflict dissolves. The mind is no longer struggling to suppress or overcome the emotion, it simply observes. Suppose you are walking in a park and someone makes a harsh comment about you. Immediately thoughts arise and you feel anger. Normally, the thinker in you might start analyzing, why did he say that? How could he insult me? This thinking feeds into the emotion, creating more separation between the I and the feeling of the anger. But in that moment, if you are aware that the thinker and the anger are not separate, you don't react. You simply observe the feeling of anger without labeling it as me or mine. The mind doesn't create any stories around it and the emotion passes